guys, John here, Forex Fire, Mr. Forex Fire, and we're gonna take a look at the 1 minute scalp again today in my own unique special way. What we'll do is we'll look at some analysis why I'm going to be looking at them. Again, this is going to be done by a demo for this week. I'm just going to be putting it on the YouTube channel, and then going possibly in the next week, going to be making this a members access area, and then eventually possibly start doing some live sessions with it as well. So we're going to head over to the chart, share the screen, and if you can hit subscribe, just make my handsome head that a little bit bigger. Please hit subscribe on the YouTube channel, hit the notification bell, please give it a thumbs up, and if you can, hit the join and become either one of two things. You can become a Spark at $2.99 and have emojis, badges, access to reply to the comments, priority replies, or you can become a fully fledged Forex Fire member, have the badges, the emojis, the access to the chat with me, but also this little beauty which we built over the last year. We're heading into the first birthday next week of the Forex Fire Discord, over 360 members, but you'll get access to that on the full membership. Okay, so you'll notice on here I zoned off the last swing point before 8 a.m. okay, and we would have already been in on a trade on this. The reason why I haven't got it set up now, I haven't went live with it, is simply because it's now 25 past 8 in the morning. You can probably see on the top of here, or 20 past 8 in the morning. I've got a big rush on the morning with the kids going out and the wife going to work. But on the preference that I look at, okay, 8 a.m. let's just mark our charts up. We go to 8 a.m., which is bang on where we would have had an entry, okay, and I'll show you why in a moment. I'll just leave that there for now. So yeah, I'll come in, I'll identify where I'm at in the market from when I'm going to start. Okay, so I'm looking, this is where I would have been, right? So I look at the last swing point. The last swing point is identifiable by that block there. Okay, that was the last swing point. Okay, so we had a breakout, and I hope you're taking notes. We had a breakout from here onto here, obviously, right? So then for extra confluence, and there's something extra I'm going to go into today, okay, because we had the breakout and a pullback on here. I'm going to show you the power of the Forex Fire zones, okay? So we're going to go from the swing low up to the swing high, okay? These are our fire zones, right? Now, if you look, you've got an entry not only in the fire zone, but it's also on the banker's candle. We would have gotten in on a trade on here. Our stop loss would have been around about just under where the last part is. Obviously, you factor in your spreads with this as well, guys. So again, round about a pip or two. So if you put that on a 2 pip stop, okay, where you've had your breakout, would have been around about, let's have a look. So that's there, the breakout occurred to here. Okay, so we can see that's the money zone. Okay, the money zone, look at where it's respected straight in. We can get rid of that. And this is where the breakout occurred before the pullback. So that's our TP area. This here is given a risk to reward of 3.29. So instantly, straight away, we are in profit, or would have been in profit this one, of 3.29%. I couldn't get this on this morning. I was trying to, but we had a rush in the house getting the kids ready for school. From there, we can move this along to that 8 a.m. Okay, let's just get this set up with 8 a.m. start. And we'll do this for a few hours, okay? We'll do a couple of hours today. So from there, guys, what can we be looking at? So we come up, pull back. Come up, pull back, come up, pull back. And then we've come up. I wouldn't really class that as. So again, just to be visual, we could zone that area out. Let's take a look. Long position. Have this here. Have that there. Pull back to there, 1.28. And that's what I'll be looking for on this next trade. Okay, guys, that's what I'm looking for on this next trade. I do believe that we might get a few more losses today if we look on the higher time frame of 15 minutes. This was off yesterday. Excuse me. This was off yesterday. From there, again, we're getting a strong push from the 8 a.m. Let's see what's on the news. Again, I don't really tend to worry too much about news. From the higher time frame aspect, though, let's just mark out some of these areas. We've got that last up before the down. We're heading into this area now. We might get a push before a reversal. This here has been mitigated. So you can see this up before the down. It's pushed out to come into mitigate. Normally 50% will be mitigated. Let's get the fibs into that. Yeah, we've come in, we've tested that quite well, to be fair. From there, order block this up. So this is another area we could push to, because potentially we've had the breakout, but none of the contracts have been filled on here as well. So what we'll do is let's give that a faint. So these are two, excuse me, these are two areas this morning where I believe price may push to, okay? I believe price may push into before we get a reversal. So if that happens, we'll go back down to 1 hour, the 1 minute, sorry. So normally when I'm trading the 1 minute, I'll jump up 2 time frames to the 15 minute. I don't go as high as the 1 hour. If I was on the 5 minute, I jumped 2 time frames to the 30 minutes. If I was on the 15 minutes, I would jump 2 time frames, 30 minute, 1 hour, if that makes sense. So only on the 1 minute would I jump up 2 time frames to the 15 minutes to see where price lies just behind where we are. Go back down to the minute, okay? So now we know at the moment we've got a 3.29%, okay? But we also have the path where we've gone A, B, C, so we've created a high, a higher high, another higher high, okay? So we've got a lower high, a lower high, and then we're going to pull back hopefully into this area here from the correction, creating another lower high before possibly taking off and going into here. Now, if we do get this continuation and trend, there is a likelihood once we hit this area, there's 1 or 2 things is going to happen. We are going to see a reversal down, okay, because this is where the higher price mitigation needs to play out, because nothing's being mitigated in here, or we'll get a continuation like this, making another lower high and eventually playing up into this area. Hopefully this is the play for today. If this is going to be the play for today, we could be hitting some good percentages, okay? So I hope that makes sense. So hopefully we've caught the Euro USD on its nice continuation trend from the 8 a.m. this morning. We are currently 3.29% in profit. We'll take it from here. The next one or the next player is a 1.28. I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to go off, make myself another cup of tea, and we'll come back in the next minute or two. We'll see how this has played out. Okay, so I'm just going to get rid of this. And what we'll do is we'll keep this live and we'll keep these boxes on here open, because we know this is where the play area is going to be, or at least that's the bias on this. Okay, it's always good to have a projected bias on where you think the trading should be heading to or heading towards. Doesn't always have to be correct, but at least if you are wary of your structure and where your imbalance areas are, you know there's a bias on the direction of that price could head towards that like a magnet. Okay, guys, so I'm just going to pause the video for now, stop the share, and we'll be back in a second or two. Okay, I'll speak to you in a bit. Hi guys, quick check back in. Got myself my cup of tea. See where we are. This is just a brief update. Share the screen. So as you're aware, we are heading or hoping for a continuation trend up into these areas here, going on the 2 time frames. Okay, up to the 2 time frames. We are looking towards a mitigation. We can get rid of that one. We're looking for a mitigation of this sort of area. However, this pullback here is to this. We've got a very strong indication that we might get a rejection off here. So we're going to get a pullback at least, and then hopefully into the area of the next pullback. You see this on the 15 minutes? Now, I can't make this stuff up, guys. These are the fire zones, okay? The inner zones are very strong. The outer zones are weaker. So you're going to get some form of respect or reaction from these areas on any swing point. So these are the 15 minutes, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a dotted line or horizontal rear, okay, between the 2 of these, or the 3 of these, okay? I'm going to go back down to the 1 minute. All right, so these here, and we'll go back, we'll get rid of that. I'm going to go back to the 1 minute, okay? So I'm going to get rid of that because that was off this morning when I was first doing my zones. Move my handsome face in that corner there. Make it a bit bigger. So you can see at the moment we've got from that swing point on the 15 minute, you've got the rejections and coming off on here, okay? So it looks as if we're going to be getting the area to come down to touch back into here, okay? And then we might get the continuation to the upper end of that 15-minute zone, which is nesting. We call this nesting. It's nesting within the area of the order block of the 15-minute. We've got 2 areas within the order block on the 15 minutes. Okay, so again, these dotted lines again are the fire zones. Okay, these big gray boxes are known as the order block areas. We've got 2 areas where have not been touched yet. We may even just get this consolidated along this line. It might not enter on here and touch. We've got our entry just above the zone, okay, within the order block, and nesting in the order block, we've got the fire zone, okay. It might not respect that. It might just actually go and touch straight back up, but we'll see where we're headed with that. So that's another little top tip for you. I hope you are taking notes of this. Again, if you need to, pause the video, go back and see how I sort of set these things up, and hopefully the little bits and pieces that I'm showing you on this is giving you a little bit of a light bulb moment. So I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to continue to see where this plays, see what plays out. If we get a break of structure, I'm going to wait until possibly we're well into this order block on the 15 minutes if we don't get an entry on here, and then I'm going to play it out from there. So I'm going to pause the video and we'll head back in a moment. Remember, always have a notepad with you if you want to take notes. Just going to stop the share and pause it from here, guys. Hi, guys. It is now heading up towards around about 5 to 9. I'm just going to share the screen, show you where we are, see if this is entered yet. It looks as if it may have entered. Just move along. Yeah, where we have now triggered in. We are looking for a 1.28. I'll stay on the video for a little while. We'll see what happens. And this just gives a chance for me to talk about a few other things. Now I have all this access with regards to the YouTube, the Discord channels and things like that. I am part of a bigger picture called the EFX group, which is Easy Forex. And we have a wider community with that. And it's an amazing setup. Again, there's a lot of stuff that I do, which is free resource stuff. I do have the YouTube channel, which is, as of now, because we're into the first year of my Discord channel, I've started making this a supporters area, in all honesty. However, that there is a great stepping stone to get you involved with Forex and to do things like this, to learn things like this and be inside of that community, which possibly eventually down the line, I will be doing what I'm doing here over in this channel as live sessions to do these on a day-to-day basis. From there, everything that I've learned in the 4 years of training, I've done through different sort of resources, but I found that the best thing being is having everybody close in together, which is how and why I formed this sort of area. But again, the guys over at EFX has sort of taken me from being an average trader and has now skyrocketed me up to that next level. And while we're on here, I'll just give you an update on my FTMO while that's doing that as an exclusive. Let's take a look. The metrics. And a little bit of drawdown today. Again, I don't hide behind anything, but I expect this to do well, to be fair. We've got 11 days of trading, a profit target of 2,500. We are down from 1,700 to 1,500 odd. However, I do believe I will turn this around by the end of the day quite easily. There's a reason why I have my stop losses, TP areas and entries going on what you can see in here. Very, very consistent on a day-to-day basis. So this does not deter me one bit. So that's where we are on that. The Fidel crest. Let's just see if we can get this. This was the free challenge setup that I got as long as I was documenting stuff. And we'll head back to this in a moment just to see how it's doing. It's still hovering around the entry area. View the report. Get my cup of tea. Now, the Fidel crest is based upon a two-step stage. 5% on one, they reset your account and you do another 5%, and then you've got the full account. They split 80-20, I think it is, I do believe. I'll have to double check on that. If I'm wrong, I'll update it in the video later on the comments. From there, you've got to do the 5% within 30-day periods. However, you've got to trade for 10 days, okay? So let's say you went into 12 days of trading, you were at the 5%. They actually monitor your account. If you are above the 5% after a 10 trading day period, you would get accelerated straight onto the next stage. Excuse me. From there, there is parameters on that. You've got to have an SL set. You've got to have a TP. And what I mean by that is a stop loss and a take profit. Your trade has got to be active in the market for 10 seconds, okay? Otherwise, you get a violation on your account. Other than that, these guys, their customer service has been fantastic. and will possibly be linked in the video a little bit further down with regards to Fidelcrest. I found them great to work with. The report's a little bit slow and loading up. We'll give it a bit of time. We'll head up the Euro USD. We can see we're seeing a bit of activeness. There's nothing to worry me too much with the candle patterns in there. There we are. It's got to get 5% of 5,000. It is only a £5,000 account. However, I got this for free to document it. We are on 4.15. Traded for 20 days. There's been 11 positive, 8 negative, no violations found. Win rate is only 61.63%. Again, your percentages on the strategy I'm using on this, which is smart money, it can be as low as 50, can be as low as 40, believe it or not, and you can still be attaining profits like this. Okay, there's your limitations on the bottom: 5%, 5%, minimum duration without stop loss and TP, without it hitting, that is. Make sure you've got your areas where you know it's going to be on a 10-second in the market, unless you're going to get a massive spike and it's going to take it out and violate it. But that's that there. I'm hoping I'm going to get this past today. I'm not going to be rushing into the trade. Again, we're going to be going just to close this down. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. I'll just see if this has changed from 188. There we are. We're back at see. We're coming back. We're at minus 188. We're now at minus 40. That's coming back, and I've got confidence with that. From there, guys, we're back on the Euro USD. I'm going to pause this video out. We'll come back to it at a moment, see if this is played out, and then we'll look for the next trade. I think what we'll do is we'll take this session the day up towards the 10:30. Okay, so let's just take a look up towards the 10:30 and short text, finish 10:30 AM. Right. So these are the sort of things that I do on a day-to-day basis. We're in a bit of drawdown the Euro USD. However, I'm not too concerned because we have got a nice 3.29%. Yesterday, we were in, let's go to 15 minutes, 1 hour. Just to give you an update from yesterday, to be fair. Let's just go right. We were on, by the end of the session, we were on a 0.15. However, we had one playing out, and this one gave us a 2.71 call after the session end. Okay, so it was a 0.15. I did update things on here yesterday, so it was plus a 2.7. Yesterday, that would have given us just under 3% growth. Not too shabby. Go back to 15 minutes. Go back to where we are. Okay, and then we're going to go back down to 1 minute. Click auto. We're now into the drawdown phase. So this is where we are, guys. Again, we're going to let this play out a little bit. If I go on to the swing point, which is there, up to there, we can see it's actually respecting. This is one big swing, okay, because we've got the retracement coming in. You can see how it's coming in. It's respecting these magnets, these fire zones. We'll come down to test the fire zone here at the moment. Hopefully this is the rejection one, and then it's not wanting to come to this here. A little bit, not so much concerned, but a little bit concerned because with the fire block or the order block on here is more or less slap bang on the central fire zone. So we might get a push into this area for it to bounce off of this one, and this one might stop us out, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully this fire zone is going to hold, and then for us to go up into here. And as you can see, again, I mentioned the zones being very, very respected. Look where the TP is. It's slap bang on 50% of that swing point. Not just this swing point, but the swing point in general from here, which is the 8 a.m. up to the 8:30. That half-hour swing point there is heavily respected between the more or less entry of the 1 minute to the TP of the 1 minute. So hopefully this is the rejection point where it's going to bounce up and get us into the TP of a 1.28, which will head us towards a 5%, I do believe. Again, we'll stop the share, see where we are. Hopefully we don't get the rejection and push through onto the bottom zone. And I hope you're finding these videos very useful. Please comment in the section in the thread. Let me know if you are taking anything away from these and it's giving you a bit more of an insight. Just going to pause the video and we will come back in a second, guys. I'll speak to you in a bit. So we're back. It's 9:15. Very small update at the moment, guys, and I hope you're enjoying the way I'm doing these videos at the moment. We can see we've come down to sort of semi-respect that area. You see this fire zone? It's now pushing up, and then hopefully this is the rejection we needed to then go back up into this zone here. Okay, so again, hopefully this is the start of the push into here, and then we will possibly come back down into this sort of area again to either do a continuation of the trend, which is what I'm ultimately hoping for, to go into here. These here, again, just to reiterate, these are 15-minute order blocks further to the left. And then eventually, if the bias is correct for today, if we do continue up into these upper areas, we may start to see some form of retracement into here. And if we were to do that, I would then sort of break the fibs out most certainly into these sort of areas. So we went from this swing low, this swing high at the moment. You can see again within the 15-minute zones, okay, of the order blocks, we've got around about 50% is where the fire zones will be, okay, from this swing point at the moment up until here, okay. So we'll see how this holds. Again, we're going back down into a downtrend a little bit, a flag pattern, if that makes sense, or a channel, a parallel channel, which again, as I say, we're heading into the order block. We're still heading into the order block here. So at the moment, we do need a break of structure in this in itself. We do really need that line there to be broken for it to stand a chance for it to push to the top side. Excuse me. So what we're doing is we'll just do that in there. If we get the push out above that, we may stand a chance of that happening to get us to here. There we are, get my face back on. We do need that push out of here to get us up into the high echelons here. We'll see what happens with that. I'm going to pause the video and then we will come back and see how this plays out. Again, that's what I'm expecting before we get the initial further push up. If this does not break this lower end from this swing here, I do believe that this may end up pushing us out based upon the parallel channel coming down to flag into this area. Therefore, we would then possibly be heading back towards here, but then we would be looking for the reversal and the bias would change, the direction would change, and we would be looking for a retracement back into this sort of area for a sell. Hopefully we'll have the buyers still correct for the continuation trend, but at the moment structure is holding for us. Okay, guys, so I'm just going to stop the share and we'll come back in a moment. We'll see how that plays out. Another update, guys. We're heading on to 9:30. Well, we're into the final hour of our trading session. However, it looks as if, based upon what I mentioned earlier, let's make my handsome face a little bit bigger. It looks as if it tried to break out of this area, what I mentioned. Again, these fire zones are so powerful. It's helped me sort of stabilize areas where I just know price is going to head to or reject from. It looks on this one as if this is going to be a rejection. The general bias, again, just to run this back with you, was the 15-minute time frame. We've got order blocks above us here, where I was hoping we were going to have a continuation of trend and reject from these upper areas. Okay, all's not lost, simply because we've got a 3.29 take this morning straight off the bat. However, still holding structure, guys, but we are in a consolidated phase. Okay, again, these are 1 minute candles, and a lot of people think scalping the 1 minute charts is fast and furious. When you are basing scalping on the 1 minute using this technique, it can be pretty quick. However, going on the preference, even on this one, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes of candles. So it wasn't like bang, bang, and you're out, or you're bang, bang, and gone. It's a case of it still fluctuates within the areas, okay? And if I was to go on here, which is the long position, short position, date range, and just do it from this candle to where this candle is right now, okay, we've got 70 candles, where it says 70 bars. We've had an hour and 10 minutes of consolidated phase. That is within a 1 minute candle. Okay, just let that sink in for a moment. That's within a 1 minute candle. Okay, we've had a phase of, let's see, between where price is now up to where it has been from entry. It's been in a 4 pip. See where it is 4.1 or 0.00041. Take away that 1 on the end. It's been in a 4 pip phase, okay, from here. So from entry to here, for the last 40 minutes, it's been stuck within a 4 pip zone, okay? So this is telling me price is now starting to condense itself. It's going into a consolidated phase. So we might actually get stopped out eventually on this if it's exhausting itself, okay? Again, we've come down from a high. We've got a lower low, a lower high. Again, here we've got, just to talk about structure, we do officially have, if you work it from there with a crosshair up to the right, it's broke the structure. So we've got a high, a lower low, a lower high, and then we've come down to this bit here. It has created a lower low, okay? So if I just scroll back out of that, we are then possibly one of two things is going to happen. It's either going to respect this line and bounce off it, and then it's going to continue down on the downside and head back into, it might head into that order block. So we may now get that there rejection and then down into here, okay? And what I'm looking at with that, I mean, I'm not going to go on a trade with that because this is still holding structure overall. But if it does stop us out, that's what I'm possibly looking at on that bias from there, okay? Again, I hope you're taking notes on this and seeing how I predefine things. But a lot of people get scared when you talk about the 1 minute. I used to be fair, but once you start understanding structure and these points of interest, we'll just see where this falls into play with regards to that there. You can see this order block is just underneath the magnet. Again, we spoke earlier on about these being fire zones and the inner two being the strongest of the areas on the zones. Hopefully this will still hold structure and we may get a push out. I'll be more than happy for these two trades to be the only trades that sort of give us the growth today if it was to hold structure, even if it give us the TP here or just after. But based upon what's happening at the moment, what I can see on the candle formations, if we do get a rejection, we may get one more retest on here and then a push down, because we've basically got a high, okay? We've got a low. This failed to break that, so we've got a lower high, okay? We've come down, this actually broke that liquidity area, so we've got a low. This area or this point of interest may now be the rejected area, and that might become our lower high, and then eventually stopping us out, coming into that area, which would then bring this order block into play, okay? We'll see what happens. We'll see where we go. Again, it might not be a case that this may even reach up into here, but I do believe it may do, because again, if it reversed from here and went straight down, that is technically still a lower high from this one here. Let's just stop the share. I hope you're taking stuff away from this, guys, because this is all golden nuggets for you. And again, don't let the 1 minute charts frighten you, okay? Price is price, okay? Doesn't matter whether it's 1 minute, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour, 4 hour, daily, weekly, monthly. Price doesn't matter where you go on the time frame, price will always be at the same point, no matter what happens. All it is as you go up the ladder, your candles are getting bigger for within a swing point. And when you're coming back down, those candles or those trees are getting chopped into bits and they become fractal and a little bit more easier to define, if you get what I'm getting at with this, to be able to define where price could be heading to. Okay, so as you've got a big tall redwood, a big tree, as you cut it down, you've got intermediary price action between the base to the tip of that tree trunk. Okay, but again, just quick share of the screen before we pause the video. We are heading, or hopefully structure will hold, and we'll go on the bias that I had this morning for these 15-minute order blocks to the left. I always do my morning sessions between 8 a.m. And I was doing them till 9:30, but I'm going to do these videos and do them from 8 a.m. to 10:30. I'm going to record them the way we are, like we're doing now. And then eventually I'll possibly maybe do one, maybe two live sessions going forward, but that's further down the line to be sort of arranged once I'm able to get at the computer from the start at 8 a.m. Again, we'll see if we'll get the push onto here. If it gets a rejection, it might only reject that one last time and then push down. You normally get a 1, 2, 3 drive and then a push. Again, guys, hopefully my bias for today will be okay. If it is, happy days. It just means we get a continuation of trend. We'll hit this and box off this 1.28. We'll come out and pull back into the next continuation for the bias, which was originally to head towards here. Okay, so I'm just going to stop the share and I'm going to pause the video and we'll be back in a moment. Remember, please take notes, watch these videos back, because it's going to help you so much in helping you define structure and understand order blocks and things like that as well, guys. Okay, so I'll speak to you in a bit. Hi guys, back once again. Try and do these updates every 15 minutes or whenever there's a change in structure. And again, we've got the high, the lower low, lower high, lower low. the lower high, where I was expecting we may be getting a change of bias on this now, to be honest. This hasn't quite rejected from where I thought it may do, which is this order block right here. Which is this order block right here, the last up before the Dow, because that's at the highest point. We are certainly getting a push out now. You can see on here, we've got a rejection. If I was to move this out, we've now had a stop out. So that there is a loss. Put that on an X. Okay, that's an X now. It's my watch going off. From there, again, we're now got a breakout and break structure from here. Let's just minimize that in. I hope you've been taking notes on these sort of things today and what I've been looking at. We're going to continue. Seems there's a shift in the other direction. I just need to get rid of these guidelines. So I'm possibly going to be looking at a quick in and out trade. That there, that being a stop, and then that there. Based upon we've got from the high, we've got a lower, 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 high, lower, 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 high. So this now technically becomes a short-term area where we're looking for. We've got the stop loss just above. Again, for the push out. The brick structure there, we've got a candle there forming a little bit of a retracement pullback. This might take us up to the half 10 cut-off time where I'm going to be doing this video today. Again, if we get a push out of here, I may even stretch this to this order block, because the direction and the bias is now, or the trend at least, is now starting to change just that little bit. Okay, possible of a 2.33 if we were to go into play of this order block. So now, as we spoke yesterday, I do a lot of videos with regards to supply and demand. Supply is always your roof, okay, or the ceiling. So the supply is that, or it'll be distribution once you go up in a push and it consolidates and comes down as it's done here. The bottom is always known as the demand areas or accumulation, okay? So as you can see, we're now wicking, wickety wild. We're now wicking into the order block area on here, which is going to give us a rejection. Hopefully the rejection is because of a change in bias. Hopefully that rejection may cause something along the lines of, let's get this correct. This rejection will do something along the lines of this, and we will see what happens with that. Again, I will pause the video for now, and I hope you are seeing these things insightful. From there, what I want to show you guys is, obviously you're part of my YouTube channel. What I want you guys to do is, there is a button over here that says join. If you click on there, this will give you access to, just pause that there. This will give you access to being able to support the channel with regards to being a Spark and obviously a Fire member. Okay, the Sparks will give you loyalty badges and custom emojis to put in my chat priority reply to comments. So if you put comments on any of these videos, you are either a Spark or a Fire, you'll get this. Okay, so you'll get all these goodies from there. The $8.99 is all of the above what I've just mentioned, plus I will connect you to my personal social media and this here, which is the Discord channel. Okay, so that is that on there. We are now getting that pullback. I'm going to pause the video, guys, and what we'll do is we'll come back at instead of 15 minutes time, We'll come back at half an hour with a conclusion on how today has gone. But so far we'll be on around about 2.29%, because if we risk an 8% on here, we just take that away from that. If this heads the way I think it's going to do now, because the directional bias has changed a bit, we'll be looking at a 2.33, okay? But we'll see what happens within the next half hour, guys, okay? So stop the share. And again, please comment below, let me know what you think of these videos. I will be doing more. Eventually, these videos will be going into the members sections only, because there's so many little bit of nuances, so many bits of value that I sort of put into this, because it's giving you what I'm looking at. And again, it works well for me. And I just hope you can take some little bits of nuggets and tips out of this, okay? So I'm just going to pause it from here, and we'll see you in the next 20 minutes for the update and the conclusion on today's session. Okay, guys? So I'll speak to you in a bit. Hi, guys. I did say I was going to just give you a conclusion at the end at 10:30. Again, can't make this stuff up. It's the fire. It's the fire and the fire zones. We can take a look at this. Let's make my handsome face a bit bigger. What I'm going to do, I'm going to create an area where we're going to start technically going into these sort of what I was speaking about yesterday, which is take a 50% and move to break even. Take partial, 50%, move to BE, okay? And what we'll do is, this might even stop us out, to be fair. We don't know. But it's just to show you that we have actually hit the entry just before the end of the session. And what we'll do is we'll hang on the video for a little bit, just to see if it does actually stop us out, or if we can get the push down to move, I'll take partial and move to the BE, because technically if it came to that area there, taking 50%, it's going to give you a 0.75, and then you move into break even, okay, of profit. I'm just going to skip that back one just so it goes there, but we're looking for a 2.33 to end this session for this morning. And again, guys, as we're heading towards the end of the 14th of September, I'm going to be heading in to do my Fidel Crest. I'm just going to give you guys an update, see where we are with the FTMO at the moment. Remember, I was in $188 drawdown a little while ago. Let's go to the client area, go to my metrics. At the moment, we brought it from 188 drawdown to 140. We're now only in $90 drawdown. Still got faith, guys. I think I'll end up in profit with this. I'm using my fire zones and other techniques with this as well, so I'm pretty confident with that as to what I'm doing with this. And again, going forward, what we're going to be doing with this sort of structure, I'm going to do these on a day-to-day basis, and we may even start documenting what we can do and journal what we can get through the week as well, okay? Because my trading on a day-to-day basis is generally, I get up at 7 in the morning. From there, I go for my morning walk. I go for my morning walk. Oh, here we go. Got messages coming through. I've got my morning walk, which has helped me with my pain and my arthritis. From there, I come in at 8 o'clock. The kids go out to school just after 8 with my partner, my wife. And then I come on to here and I'm able to document this. And I'm enjoying this. This is what I do full time now. And on top of that, we've got this Discord area, which is highly recommended you guys get in. And again, you can just hit the join button on the YouTube, okay? Hit the join button on the YouTube channel, to get yourself involved with that. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pause the video for now. We'll come back at the half-past mark. We'll see if this is going to come down to play us out to the tune of 2.33, or if it's going to let us take a 50% partial and then move into break even, and then we'll see where we are from that. Okay, guys, so I'll speak to you in a bit. I'll speak to you in a bit. Hi guys, that is today's session almost over. Let's take a look and see what has happened, and we will have a recap. Woo, look at that, look at that. We've hit what was to be expected. Again, never ever, and I'm going to reiterate this, guys, never ever let the 1 minute chart freak you out or spook you out. Okay, you've seen what's happened throughout today. This has been as good as recorded live. I've done everything in front of you and shown you what I look at. I've looked at the general bias of what I was expecting to happen. Okay, the bias was correct up until a point of reversal. From there, you've got to be able to flick the switch, adapt to the market conditions. You see me look at this area, predict the area, and go the candle formations. And I told you that this was going to be a supply, a demand based upon structure of the intermediary price of the order block. We used the fire zones, and I predetermined an entry to a take profit. And look at this, to the pip within that order block and straight down, a 2.33% profit. Okay, so let's just take a look and get the calculator on. We had a 3.29 minus 1 plus the 2.33 plus the 2.33. Okay, that has been a trading session today of 4.62 profit percent growth. That there, guys, in itself, okay, based upon that there, based upon let's say something like a fund and talent. Again, that's a halfway pass, because they want 8% on the first phase and they want 4% on the second phase. Fidel Crest, on the other hand, that there is more or less a pass on day one. Not only day one, but within a 2.5 hour session. Let that sink in for a moment. 2.5 hours of trading. I've more or less completed the request on what is needed for Fidel Crest. Okay, and going back on what we did yesterday, I think it was around about 2% by the time it closed out. In fact, we'll do this correctly. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. We go back on yesterday's, because I've kept on the same. Let's have a look. So it was this area here. Okay. Oh. Can we get up the 4 hour? Is that going to show us? 15 minutes. Yesterday's session. Are you going to show it? Right, there we are. Right, so yesterday's session was 0.5 during the session. We caught this 2.71. Okay, so we've got a 0.15 plus a 2.71. Okay, yesterday was 2.86. If we go back down to the 1 minute chart, head over to where we are today. Scroll this in, guys. Okay, this is where we are today, and then plus at 4.62. There's a growth there. There's nearly over 2 days, 2 hours each session, 4 hours. That's nearly your first stage pass on an FTMO, or most certainly on a fund and talent, and definitely on the Fidel Crest. Okay, so hopefully you've been taking some gold nuggets on what I do. Please, if you are taking any sort of nuggets out of this, head over, or you'll be seeing this on my YouTube. Click that button right now, hit the join, become a member. You're going to be getting so much more value with what I do with these. And eventually, once I structure everything out, I'm going to try and start doing live, proper live sessions based upon these areas of the 1 minute charts. Okay, so please comment, as always, please comment. Let me know if you've enjoyed the comment today. Please share this on your wall on Facebook. Hit the notification bell to be notified when I do these videos. Okay, on top of that, you can hit the subscribe button, and if you can become a Spark or a fully fledged Fire member, please do so via the YouTube. You will get channel perks with that. So today I am happy with that. I'm now off to have another cup of tea. I'm not getting on the screen. I'm going to watch a film, have a bit of a relax, and then I'm going to hit the charts and do the charts on my live funded trading account, where I'm going to try and get through the challenge for today. But that's been today's session. Phenomenal stuff. Again, good growth for that 2 hours. I hope you've enjoyed it. My name has been John Docherty. Please, please, please hit that join button, and you'll get even more of this stuff. Eventually, what I'm going to be doing is this sort of stuff will be filtering into a members only area. Okay, so I've got to stress that this will eventually be becoming a members only area, where we're going to condense everything and hopefully help people start to structure themselves and get them through these challenges. Okay, guys, so my name's been John. I'll catch you later. Bye.